Hey guys, this is Christian, and today I have a special guest, my dear friend Jessica. We've been friends for almost 4 years. No? Yeah.
Almost 4.
And she's like a little sister to me, and I just love her so much. And she's just a really amazing woman that has come from not knowing how precious she is and how valuable she is to really coming into a place of self-worth. And it's really changed a lot of things in your life, like completely.
Everything.
Yeah, completely turned it around.
Yeah.
So, and we're talking earlier, and you were sharing this story about this guy that was, trying to pick you up, basically, hit on you.
Yes.
So, why don't you share about that? It's just such a good example of this self-worth.
Yeah. Okay. So, I was at this big party in Isla Vista. It's like this big Halloween party that happens every year, and thousands of people go to these parties because it's actually a neighborhood where people open up their houses for partying.
It's crazy.
And so I was there hanging out with some friends. We actually weren't there to party. We were there to love people. Like, we just went to meet people and to love them, and just kind of give them whatever they needed, whether it was like just talking to them about life or healing them or whatever,
Yeah.
And so
and you met this guy there.
Yeah, so this guy came up to me and he was smiling, and he basically, like, from the conversation that we had, he had me pegged as this little naive Christian girl that never did anything wrong in her life and just followed rules and wanted to get everybody converted. And so he came up to me and was like, "I know what you're gonna be like when you're older," and I'm like, "What?" And so then basically through the conversation, at the very beginning, he was like, "Wait, how old are you?" And I said, 21. And he said, "No, you're not." And I said, "Yes, I am." And then he said, "And what's your name?" And I'm like, "Jessica." And then he had his phone out, and it was almost like he was trying to trick me into answering all of his questions and then getting my number. And he said, "And your number is?" And I looked at him and I said, "I'm not going to give you my number." And he was like, "Well, why?" And I said, "I don't even know you. You've given me no reason to trust you. Why would I give you my number?" And he stopped and he said, "Wow, that's awesome." And he said, no girl does that." And I said, "Well, unfortunately, not a lot of girls know what they're worth, and I do." And so I kind of went into a little bit about what I'm worth in a guy and what guy I would give my number to, and which wasn't him. And so then we had this conversation, and he was trying to debate me, basically.
Yeah.
And finally he kept saying, "But you're so naive. You're just so naive. I wish you weren't so naive." And so I just stopped him and I said, okay, hold on. And I said, "See all these people?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I said, "All of the partying and the drinking and the sex?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "Yeah, that was me. I did all that." And he just stopped and was like, And I said, "And the reason why I don't do that now, the reason why I'm a different person than that you've met today, is not because of a set of rules that I follow." And I said, "The reason why I don't do all that is because God, in His love for me, He pulled me up out of that, and He showed me who He is, and He showed me who I am. And He showed me that I'm worth so much more than that. And that not only is it momentary, but it's actually detrimental to me, and it leaves me worse off than when I started." And I said to him, "And if you saw yourself the way that God sees you, none of this would even be appealing, because you would realize that you're worth something more than this."
Yeah. So, but you've really had, it wasn't like just a one fixed solution for you. I mean, you've had quite the journey with just like really having to fight for your worth.
Yeah.
So what would you, because there's a lot of people I know that struggle with these type of things. A lot of women struggle with self-worth, and even men. And I get emails from you guys, so and talk to you. So it's really something that I think everybody struggles with. So what would you, if you could give just a few tips to people? Just about how to fight for that self-worth.
Totally. Well, one thing is, so when I was young, I was in a long-term relationship. Thought I was going to marry the guy, so I definitely what's the word? I can't think of the word. I compromised what I believed, because I actually didn't have self-worth. It's like you can believe certain things, but if you don't believe in yourself, if you don't have, you know, if you don't believe that you're worth certain things, then you're not going to live in that. And so I think the key is, I actually came to a place where I kind of had a reality check, and I realized, I kind of stepped back and realized that I was headed down a road to become a person that I didn't want to be. And I had to step back, and I had to look, and I had to kind of set goals for my life and goals for who I wanted to be, basically. And the key to that is actually not, you know, it's not going to be a quick fix. It's not going to be easy. But it's you know, it's funny, you hear all these different things about people saying, you know, if it's easy, then it's not worth it. You know, like,
yeah, there's something to that, you know.
Totally. And so anyway, to get back on track, one time I heard somebody talk about how, you know, character and integrity, it's not either you have it or you don't. It's not a choice. It's not one choice. It's a lifetime of small, medium, and big decisions that you make on a daily basis to be the person that you want to be.
That's good.
And
That's good.
And so it's you know, it's those moments where a guy comes up to you that is actually extremely good looking and asks you for your number and says everything that you want to hear. It's those moments where you go, you know,
I'm just worth more than this.
Yeah.
You know.
And it's so funny because it's like, even in the moment, there are moments where I actually don't believe what I'm saying, but I'm saying it because I'm not living for the moment. I'm living for who I want to be and what I believe I'm worth in the long run. And
what is your goal? You talked about setting goals. Like, what is your goal in the long run? What is that because that's what carries you.
Yeah.
You know.
Through those moments. Of weakness, if you will. I've come to believe and know that one day, my prince will come. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's awesome. True.
Yeah.
No, I actually, well, I want to bring this up actually really quick before I answer your question.
All right.
That
totally cool.
We have all these different movies, you know, Disney movies and you know, grown-up movies where there's these girls that you know, get swept off their feet by this Prince Charming, you know, that, you know, this guy that is a golden quality guy that actually loves them for who they are, and all of this stuff comes along and pursues them and shows them, you know, what they're worth. And you see, you know, like Once Upon a Time, I love that show, and it's like you see like Prince Charming and Snow White, and the way that, you know, when she wants to compromise herself, he says things like, I'm not going to let you do that because I know that that's not who you are, you know, things like that. And you're like, yes, I want that man, you know. And people in life, they're like, you know, that's not reality. No guy's gonna treat me that way, or I'm not worth that. And my point,
probably just haven't experienced that, huh?
Totally. And my point is that there is, whether you believe it or not, whether anybody believes it or not, there's an innate thing that is inside every woman and every man. And for every woman, it's this desire to be chosen and pursued and loved like a treasure. Mm-hmm. And for every man, there's this innate desire for a challenge. There's an innate desire to pursue, and you know, that's why you see these stories of guys that are like, she's so out of my league, but I'm gonna go for it, you know, and just pursues this woman, you know, and that's actually how we're made. That's actually, you know, it's truth. And so my point is that I know that there is a man that is gonna see me, and he's gonna see the whole package. He's gonna see the way that I talk. He's gonna see the things that I believe, and he's gonna see, you know, physically, he's gonna see me, and he's going to come and he's going to prove to me that he's worth me giving him my heart, and he's worth my trust, because he actually values me for more than my body. He values me for all of the things that annoy other people. He values me for my quirks and my red hair, you know? And
you got great hair.
Thank you. And so my point is that when other guys come along, or when, you know, even guys that I actually am friends with, or guys that I could actually see myself with, I don't compromise myself because I'm worth the wait, and I'm worth, you know, like, in my opinion, even like the attention that I give a guy, I'm worth holding that back from somebody that hasn't proven themselves trustworthy of that part of me.
Right, and
I mean, not just sexually, like even hanging out or texting. It's like, you know what? Like, I actually have a choice whether or not to text you, and I love you, but you haven't proven yourself trustworthy for that part of me. I'm not gonna have day-long conversations with you.
Yeah.
You know, or things like that. Like, it's just simple.
Totally. And yeah, that's huge, isn't it? Just like, so I just think it's, you know, I've known Jess for almost 4 years now, and it's just been amazing to just watch her and be part of your journey, you know, just come alongside like as a big brother, and just be really protective, and I've just seen so much growth. And what I think has been the reason why she has grown so much in this, and why some people don't, it's just because she's willing to face her fears, and she's willing to go after those things that are painful in her heart. And it's not always fun, the journey, but it's so worth it, you know. And I just think her life is just such a cool testimony of God's redemptive power, and how, you know, even the stuff that you've come from, that, you know, your background, it doesn't dictate your future. And your identity is now in being a daughter, and just being how valuable you are, you know. But it wasn't always like that. But seeing you now, like, people like that guy, you would never have assumed that was your struggle when you were younger. You just thought, oh, it's just this perfect girl. He's never struggled with that. So just take that as an encouragement, you know, if you are at that place right now where you're really struggling with your self-worth, you know, there's God is just so faithful. So thank you so much. You know, this has been awesome. It's been a great time, and thanks for sharing your heart.
There's so much more. There's so much more that I am like holding back.
Of course.
For time.
Yeah, we could definitely talk for a long time, and she has a lot to say, but we'll do some other time. So thanks a lot for watching, and see you next time.